Hey guys, thanks for tuning back into the outfit. Today we're going to review the Crashpad double swag. Now before this one we had the Adventure King's Big Daddy Deluxe swag for around about a year until it gradually started to fall apart and rot. So that's why we upgraded to this Crashpad one, which cost us around about $500 when we got it, plus some shipping. Now we got the desert color. This is the one we really liked, and we've had it for around about 6 months now. So we've had a lot of use out of it. We've taken it almost every single weekend. So I think it's about time to give a bit of a review on it, as we are now going into a rooftop tent, so we'll be getting rid of this unfortunately. Now a few pros about it. First up, the build quality in comparison to the Adventure Kings, which is the only other one we can compare it to, is far superior. So stitching's way better, the support poles are better, inside is designed a little bit better, there's some pockets where you need them, works really well. Very similar design to the other double swags on the market, but yeah, definitely the build quality is superior. Firstly, the bag that it comes in is probably one of the huge pluses for it. Not only is the zip, the main zip that goes around the bag, covered up by a little canvas flap. One of the big issues with the Big Daddy Deluxe was when it was on top of the roof of the car, whenever we would be driving through rain, it would saturate the entire swag. Obviously this isn't a completely waterproof case on the Crashpad, but at least it's massively weatherproof now. So we've driven through some rainstorms and there's been minimal water inside it. Because as you know, of these swags, if you're sleeping them every night, you've got really minimal amount of time to get them dry before you go back to sleep the next day. So it's quite a tricky one, especially if you're moving from camp to camp. Now, we noticed the Big Daddy Deluxe has larger awning sort of side curtain areas. We found that handy because we could put our shoes in there, we could put a little bit of clothing, and it wouldn't actually get hit by either the dew or rain overnight. Now the one on the Crashpad's a lot smaller, so they're almost useless to us in that respect. So we've tried chucking some shoes under them. Obviously we don't want stinky shoes inside the swag at night time, but they've gotten wet in the morning. So that's a bit of a shame. Maybe the design could be changed just a little bit to have a larger annex kind of awning area. Secondly, the mattress on the inside is roughly 70 mil on the Crashpad. Now, it doesn't take up the entire area of the swag inside, which is a bit of a shame. We were hoping it would expand. The foam of the Big Daddy Deluxe, the Adventure Kings one, was thicker. I think it was like 100 something mil, definitely more comfortable. It did end up getting a little bit moldy, but we would definitely say the Crashpad's inferior in comfort, if you will, especially for a guy my size. I'm like 100 kilos, and I will feel the ground pretty well, unfortunately, underneath the Crashpad mat. So I end up having to get an extra air mattress, sort of a self-inflating one, and just chuck that under my side. Whereas Ange, she was fine in this, probably because she's not as heavy, obviously. Thirdly, the height of the swag is a little bit less, a little bit lower than the Adventure Kings one. Not a huge deal. The thing that was a bit frustrating for me is I can't sit up in this, say first thing in the morning and get changed. I'll kind of be on my side, whereas the Adventure Kings one, I could sit up quite comfortably in it. It was a bit higher, that dome. Now the reason we changed from the Adventure Kings one is one of the support poles completely snapped through. It's not to say that this won't happen on this one, but so far it seems like the build quality is much better all round. The stitching's better, the zips are better. I can imagine this swag lasting a really long time. And as I said, we've had this 6 months and it's still in perfect condition. We've always got it on a ground sheet to try and keep the moisture away, but it works excellently. The design of it is really superior. And it's faster to set up, it's faster to pack down, and the bag that it comes in is super roomy. So the advantage of that is you don't have to spend 10 minutes trying to squash the bag in, which can get really frustrating, especially if it's freezing cold and your fingers are numb. That's the last thing you want to be doing before a coffee. So this one's really good. You can chuck it in really easily, you don't even have to do it up very tight, and then you can put your pillows and your sleeping bags in as well. And get those out of the cab of the car. So another pro for us is definitely the look of the swag. We really like the Crashpad logo. One thing that was a real pain in the butt with the Adventure Kings one was the huge Kings in blue, and then it said Big Daddy Deluxe. I really like my photography, so that was super hard to make the photo look good in my opinion. Just to me it looks really tacky, and they need to do something about that logo. That's a separate matter. Whereas the Crashpad logo is really minimalist. I like the design, and sounds a bit silly, but for me that's a really big one, because I was ending up having to try and Photoshop the King's logo out of my my pictures when we were traveling around the country. And then lastly, in regards to pros, I really like that there are 3 different color options. They've also got like a sort of like a forest tree colored kind of one. I think that might even be called forest from memory. And then they've also got a black one as well. We really like this color just for a change. Now the Adventure Kings one, that's only one color, so you don't really get to choose there. And then finally, in regards to the price, now we haven't bought any other swags. There are obviously a lot of others on the market for varying price ranges, Adventure Kings being the budget one. Now that cost us roughly $200 at the time, and this was, as I said before, $500 plus shipping. They may even be more expensive on the website last I checked. So huge price difference there. Yes, build quality is a big thing, obviously, but for some of the features that the Adventure Kings actually had over the Crashpad, I think potentially either the price may need to come down a little bit on Crashpad, or they may need to go back to the factory and just redesign just a couple of things just to make it far superior to the budget competition. Hopefully that kind of makes sense, but again, the annexes on the side need to be a bit bigger. I would like it to be higher, similar to the Adventure Kings one. Everything else is awesome. I think the mattress needs a bit of an update. That should definitely be thicker, especially for us big lads. I don't want to have to bring an air mattress as well as this swag. But yeah, hopefully that's kind of cleared some things up for you. Again, Crashpad being exceptional quality, but if you're after something budget, the Adventure Kings is still definitely up there. Cool, cheers guys.